Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Today we're talking about properties of special quadrilaterals. Up first is parallelograms with 5. Parallelograms, opposite sides are parallel and congruent. The opposite angles of a parallelogram are equal. Consecutive angles are not equal, and diagonals are congruent. Up next we have rectangles with 7 properties, and they have their opposite sides are parallel and congruent. The opposite angles are congruent. The consecutive angles are equal. The right angles are all the angles, because all the angles are 90 degrees. And the diagonals are congruent, and the diagonals they all have the same angles of the diagonal does. Up next we have the rhombus with 8. The opposite sides of a rhombus are parallel and the same length. Opposite angles of a rhombus are congruent. Consecutive angles of a rhombus are congruent. Diagonals of a rhombus, they form 90 degrees. Diagonals of a rhombus are perpendicular. Diagonals of a rhombus they bisect each other. And all of the sides of the rhombus are equal. Up next we have the square with 10 properties. The opposite sides of a square are parallel and congruent. The opposite angles of a square are equal. Consecutive angles of a square are equal. Diagonals of a square intersect at 90 degrees. Diagonals of a square are perpendicular. Diagonals of a square are all congruent. Diagonals of a square bisect each other, and right angles of the square are all the angles, and all of the sides of the square are the same. Up next we have the kite. Sets of adjacent sides of the kite are 2 for every side. Angles of the kite are the same if they are across from each other. Diagonals of the kite are perpendicular, and diagonals of a kite are longer one way than the other. Up next we have the trapezoid with 1. The trapezoid's base is parallel. And up next we have the isosceles trapezoid with the base being parallel, the opposite sides being congruent, the base angles are congruent, the consecutive angles are the same, and the diagonals of the isosceles trapezoid are congruent. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Leave a like and subscribe down below, and I will see you guys next time.